In this video, I'll be using my iPad to demonstrate how I annotate and study my lecture notes. This will be especially helpful if you are a digital note taker. I'm studying the Psych-Soc section of the MCAT. I took concise notes over the Khan Academy lecture videos, and now I'm reviewing them and comparing them to the 300-page Khan Academy document that they have available. I'm filling in those gaps by adding useful information while reviewing the material at the same time. One way I remember similar concepts is by highlighting their differences. For example, in here, neurocognitive and neurodevelopment sound similar, but neurocognitive diseases occur after development, while neurodevelopment occur before development, such as autism, ADD, things like that. I think highlighting contrasting information is so important in understanding material on a deeper level. Strictly for visual appeal, I like to group random facts into boxes and clean up the writing around it a little bit. Another tip is to highlight a term that you've learned from another chapter. This way, you can connect previously learned information to the ones you're learning right now. Here, selective attention is mentioned to be impaired in schizophrenia. So I will write myself a prompt so I can go back and review the exact information. And once again, if you want to go one step beyond, you can highlight the differences between different types of attention. So here's what I mean when I say highlight differences. In the chapter about perceptual processing, there are different theories about how our brain receives sensory information and processes them, and which ones does it bring to our conscious awareness. The different theories, they have these little differences between them, so it's important to just highlight the differences. So here, the Deutsch and Deutsch late selection theory. You see it says late selection because the selective filter is coming later, like after perceptual processing, whereas in broadband, the selective filter is coming before. Now, I personally drew all of these, and I had a lot of fun doing it, but I always recommend doing something similar to this when trying to study the differences between different theories. All right, I'm going to show you some examples of how I use colors to visually remember relationships. I usually use red to write things that are in excess or positive in charge or abnormally acidic. That way I can remember that anything that's written in red probably has to involve those terms. Here, positive symptoms are written in red, and similarly in the below diagram, the biological one, you see that the positive symptoms are highlighted in red in the temporal lobe. Negative symptoms is on the other side, blue, and we can see right away that the hippocampus and the limbic system is responsible for negative symptoms in schizophrenia. So color coding your notes is one thing, but actually using them efficiently to remember and recall that information on your exam day is the most important part. Have you heard a picture is worth 1,000 words? That's exactly what we're doing here. Here in this section, if I didn't remember any of the writings and I could only remember this brain, Just by knowing what the colors mean, I could get extra information out of that picture and possibly get me closer to the right answer. Alright, here's another example as to why colors are your best friend. In organic chemistry, this is particularly useful. Blue, a cold color, represents things that are cold or basic, low temperatures, negative things. So here you see cation exchange and anion exchange. Those are always so confusing. You're supposed to know which one retains cations, which one retains anions, which one has a negative stationary, which one has a positive mobile phase. Like, those are always so hard to remember, but if you put a drawing and a diagram side by side, you will never forget it unless you don't study it. Here I have the boiling point here color coded. Highest boiling point is acetic acid because it has more opportunity to hydrogen bond, and it goes to alcohols, ketones, aldehydes, all the way down to branched alkanes. And the branched alkanes are in green, showing that they have a lower boiling point. So it's important to remember this diagram, but also remember what you are studying. Colors alone won't help you. They will just enhance your memorization. There's so many different ways to use digital note-taking to understand and learn information. But be careful not to get lost in drawing diagrams and fixing the aesthetics of your notes. Make sure your attention is primarily on using your digital note-taking to its fullest potential.